It is finally here, YouTube. And let me start off on my reaction. My intro. Well, go on YouTube and see what to the back with another video. Today we're going to be checking out Geography Now, India. Yes, I'm going to be learning about the beautiful country of India. Y'all know I do. Well, y'all probably don't know. For all my new Indian fans that are watching me from my cricket videos, I usually do Geography Now videos. I have a whole playlist of Geography Nows. I might leave it at the end of this video. Yeah, I reacted like maybe over 9 Geography Now videos so far. And now, India, you're up next. Let's see what I can learn about India. If it's the first time seeing my face, subscribe down below. Road to 10,000 subscribers. Enough of my talking. Let's get on with this reaction.
So, we have finally encroached upon the giant India. Some of you have been waiting a long time for this episode. I'm just gonna say straight up, you all know India is incredibly complex and diverse. Even Indians have trouble understanding their own country. Obviously, I won't be able to scratch even the surface in this episode, but I'll try my best. A lot of you Indian geography peeps have helped me along the way, so thank you, and without further ado, let's begin.
Yes, sir. Let's learn geography.
Now! Hey everybody, I'm your host Barbie. This place doesn't even need much of an introduction. Everybody has heard of India. It's big, it's loud, it's colorful, and most importantly, it has a plethora of confusing territorial anomalies that I just can't wait to cover. Here we go. There's an old saying, India is a place where everyone is in a hurry, but no one is ever on time. First of all, India is located in South Asia, right on the Indian and...
Yo, that's funny. Is that true? Everybody's in a hurry, but you show up to the events late?
Hurry, but no one is ever on time. First of all, India is located in South Asia, right on the Indian and Arabian Seas and the Bay of Bengal, bordered by 6 other countries, so close to 7, but that land bridge between Sri Lanka got wiped away like 600 years ago by a cyclone.
By the way, people, I did my Geography Now test, right? So for those who don't know, I said, what am I saying? Yo, I did my heritage test,
Sri Lanka
my
got
DNA
wiped away
test,
like 600 years ago by a cyclone.
and I found out that 1% Nepali is on it. You can watch my my heritage DNA test on YouTube. I put it up. I think it has like over 15,000 views or something like that. A lot of people are interested in, because I'm Jamaican and I wanted to find out like what is my bloodline built up of, and I'm like 60% Nigerian. They say I am like 20 something percent Eastern European, 10% English, like England English, and then 1% Nepali is crazy. I saw that and I was like, I'm 1% Nepal. I'm like, what? Maybe it's the because in Jamaica though we have a lot of native Indian heritage, like the Tainos and the Arawak, and we have a lot of Indian culture in Jamaica as well, for those who don't know. But yeah, man, that was interesting to see. I'm Nepali, I guess, 1%.
India is divided into 29 states and 7 union territories, with the capital New Delhi, which acts as
New
its own
Delhi,
administrative
okay.
unit. It's
Yeah,
located
for
in
sure,
the
the
capital
capital.
territory. Keep in mind, New Delhi is actually just the name of one of the districts in the capital territory, made up of 11. The largest city, however, is actually Mumbai, with New Delhi, Bangalore or Bengaluru, and Hyderabad.
Okay, so I've always heard about Mumbai, Delhi, and Bangalore. Is that where the Royal Challengers play with Virat Kohli and Chris Gayle and them?
Following after, however, the 4 busiest airports are Delhi Indira Gandhi International, Mumbai's Chhatrapati Shivaji International, Bengaluru's Kempe Gowda International, and Chennai International in the south.
Okay.
You know why I'm smiling. This is my favorite part of any episode we
What?
ever make. Territorial anomaly time. India is loaded with strange borders and deliciously complex demarcation lines. First of all, what exactly is a union territory? In the simplest way I can put this, union territories are places that are too distinct to be incorporated into a state, but too small to have their own local governments. The first one, of course, is the Delhi National Capital Territory, where the capital lies. Chandigarh is a post-independent city constructed to replace Lahore as the capital of the Punjab area after it was split up between India and Pakistan. Then you have the island territories, the smallest one, Lakshadweep, and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The Andaman Islands being home to one of the last uncontacted people groups on the planet.
What? Oh, that's where it is?
Hostile to
I've known about this. I didn't know that's where it is. That's where it's located.
visitors and are therefore left alone, as well as the Nicobar Islands, which actually used to be a short-lived colony of Denmark. Finally, the 3 remaining territories are former European colony towns and ports. Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu, which are separated by about 200 kilometers across the Gulf of Kambat, and the most confusing union territory, the French-speaking Puducherry, which is actually split up between 4 district cities across India: Karikal, Mahe, Yanaon, and Pondicherry. Pondicherry is strange because it has 11 enclaves within the Tamil Nadu state. Oh, and in this area, you can also find the experimental hippie-ish commune with with a little bit of controversy. Look it up. Oh, and don't forget, here, the eastern states, also known as the Seven Sisters, are connected by this incredibly narrow 27-kilometer wide pathway known as the Siliguri Corridor. This pathway is like a crucial artery that completes the India puzzle. Or so you would think. Now let's discuss the juicy stuff. Now, in the China episode, I already talked about the disputed areas with India, such as Aksai Chin and Arunachal Pradesh.
I haven't watched that yet.
Pretty much just belonging to India, as it's almost completely inhabited and operated by Indians. So let's move to the other disputes. Now, as of 2015, the Bangladesh episode is already outdated, as
I haven't watched that one yet either.
India and Bangladesh have finally come to an agreement over the frighteningly complex former enclave-exclave dispute. In the end, India only lost about 40 square kilometers of land to Bangladesh, and now only a few enclaves and exclaves exist. Now let's head north. Now when you try...
Hold on, 40 kilometers? That's what he said?
And Bangladesh have finally come to an agreement over the frighteningly complex former enclave-exclave dispute. In the end, India only lost about 40 square kilometers of land.
Just 40 square kilometers you lost to a country? That's insane. That India has to have the world record for the least amount of land lost to someone else. That's a small amount if you think about like countries like capturing lands and stuff. You know what I mean?
To Bangladesh, and now only a few enclaves and exclaves exist. Now let's head north. Now when you try to draw the shape of India, you might want to be careful which depiction you use. Some might use this picture, some might use this, some might use this, and those that don't really study very well might use this. The point is the whole...
Why? I don't get that. Why does people use different depictions? Is it because like some of the territories are like in a 50-50 zone where it's been fought over? Is that the thing?
Whole area is like the most heavily militarized, diplomatically stressed out region on the planet. It's already had like 4 wars in the past half century. Basically, India, Pakistan, and to some extent China all want the entire area for themselves, although it's more of like a Pakistan-India thing. In the China...
Oh, by the way, the India versus Pakistan historical video coming soon too. I'm going to be reacting to that. India versus Pakistan.
Episode, we already discussed the Chinese disputes with India, so I won't cover those in this episode. If you want to learn more, just watch the China episode. But anyway, this entire area was a former domain known as the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir that was under royal Maharaja rulers all the way up until independence. Currently, this place is split up by this fenced-off militarized line known as the line of control between India and Pakistan. Why is this? Well, in the quickest way I can put this...
Okay, the British are out. We get to take your land.
No, we want to be an independent princely state.
We're supposed to take your land, and majority of your people are Muslim, just like us, even though your ruler is Hindu as well.
Hey, India? Yeah? If you help me, I'll let you secede my territory to your land with autonomy. Deal. Ha! Your problem now! I love how Mike played India. He totally represents India. Oh, and keep in mind, Pakistan's capital, Islamabad, is less than 80 kilometers away from all that drama. The line of control meanders through the mountains until it stops at a point called NJ9842. This is where things get really crazy, because from there you hit the Siachen Glacier, the second longest non-polar glacier in the world, and this is pretty much the dead man zone. After point NJ9842, you hit the actual ground position line, a series of military outposts that extend all the way to the Chinese border. That means everything in this area is ground zero for the Indo-Pak tension. And you know, the crazy thing is there's actually literally small towns of normal regular civilians living in these areas.
Oh, that's crazy. This looks beautiful, by the way. I'm not even gonna lie. This looks like a vacation spot, and people are fighting. Of course people are gonna fight over it, but it's beautiful right here. I'm not... Am I telling a lie right here? Doesn't this look like a nice vacation spot? Like in... Okay, for those who are not in the United States, this would remind me of like Colorado. This reminds me of like what Colorado would look like here in the United States. Literally like mountains and then the water running and these type of trees and the foliage. This is beautiful.
Many of which just go about daily life, going to work and raising their families. Otherwise, they have a river dispute with Nepal and various river islands disputed.
Come on, Nepal!
Outside of all the dispute stuff though, India not only has the world's second largest road network and 3 of the world's top 10 megacities and their own space program, but they also have a copious abundance of landmarks and notable sites, way too many to list, but some of the ones that you guys, the Indian geography peeps, have told me to mention include places like the abandoned Danush Kodi ghost city, Golconda Fort, the 4 pillars of Charminar, the Ajanta Buddhist art caves, the Ellora monolithic ruins, Mandu.
Have I seen this before? Because I study art. If people don't know, I do art as well. I might have seen that before. I'm not even gonna lie.
As the Indian geography peeps have told me to mention include places.
Oh, I know why I've seen those before. I've studied art. I've studied like Buddhist art. I've studied Hinduism art. Maybe that's how I know some of these arts.
Like the abandoned Danush Kodi ghost city, Golconda Fort, the 4 pillars of Charminar, the Ajanta Buddhist art caves, the Ellora monolithic ruins,
I've definitely studied that
Temple,
in school,
which feeds over 100,000 people a day, the Gol Gumbaz Mausoleum, the Kalavantin Durg Post.
Ooh, I want to go here. This looks interesting. I feel like I want to put this on my bucket list. Kalavantin Durg Post. Oh, I gotta put this on my bucket list. If I ever tell y'all I'm going to India, please remind me to come here. I want to put this. This is beautiful. I want to put this. I need to go there.
Coast, the ruins of Hampi, the hill forts of Rajasthan, Shatrunjaya Hill, which is basically like a mecca for Jains, the temple of the Bodhi tree, Jal Mahal, Bangar Fort, the most haunted place in India, Mahabhat Maqbara, and keep in mind, just like in China, you can find a Great Wall of India in Rajsamand. There's also the Paritala
How comes we never heard about that before? Well, I haven't. The Great Wall of India.
Anjaneya temple with the largest statue in India depicting Hanuman, and at over 150 acres, the Sri Rangan Ataswamy temple, the largest Hindu temple in the world.
That looks interesting.
And there's also that building with the stuff and the thing, whatever. Anyway, we could go on for centuries talking about India's rich constructed domicile, but what it lies on top of is even more fascinating.
Physical geography.
My job at L'Oreal is to find the best balance between the needs and supply.
Now, don't
take your time to subscribe down below, please, and thank you. It only takes 1 second to subscribe, man. Yes, sir.
Make this mistake.
I'm going to India. All I need are my sandals and sunscreen.
No. It's cold.
Now, as the 7th largest country in the land area, India has a wide range of landscapes.
Of course, there's gonna be some colder areas. What in my head, I think India is gonna be warm like in Jamaica, but I guess some parts are warm, and then obviously because India is so big, there's gotta be like glacier type areas where it's just cold.
Climates and elevations that all contrast from one corner to the other. First of all, let's talk about the north. India sits on the Indian tectonic plate that essentially smashed into the Eurasian plate, which in return created the largest mountain range in the world, the Himalayas. The force is so strong that it's estimated that the Himalayas grow about 2.
That's what I mean, the Himalayas. But I don't think there's a lot of people living in this type, like on this ridge. I don't think there's a lot of people living literally here. Maybe like, you know what I mean, some people, but not a lot. But people do go there to like tourists or people will just live there.
4 inches or 6.1 centimeters every year. There's also where you can find Kanchenjunga, the tallest mountain in India, or the 3rd in the world, right on the border of Nepal. Keep your eye on these mountains. These are pretty much the source of most of India's major
Himalayas is very famous though. Like everybody learns about the Himalayas.
That's why India takes these mountains so seriously. You can also find the largest natural lake, Wular, up in the Jammu Kashmir area. Below the Himalayas, you reach the North Indian River Plain, sometimes referred to as the Indus Ganga. This is the most fertile part of India, where the most important rivers like the Ganges and its tributaries flow. Heading a little south, you reach the south.
So in school, we learned about the Ganges and we learned about Himalaya. We learned about those. Those are pretty famous, I think, worldwide. Unless you're from America and you don't really pay attention in class. Because I came to America with my Jamaican geography knowledge, and I didn't even have to learn anything. Let me tell you that. Because when I was in class, I knew everything the teachers were talking about, and I was like, huh? How are people just learning about these type of stuff? But I guess that's just America. People don't understand. Like I hate to hear when because I'm in America right now and I go to school in America, college. I got a associate's degree and I'm finishing my bachelor's degree, and I hate to hear when people say, like, some Americans say, "Oh, did you learn?" Like they think that because I'm from Jamaica or another like people think that because you're from a third world country or a country that's not like as widely known as the US or big as the US, people think that your education is bad. No, what I learned in Jamaica is so much better than what I'm learning here, because most of the stuff I learned in Jamaica in high school, I'm learning them in college, and I already know, like, literally the whole syllabus I've learned in high school in Jamaica. And I'm not even talking like 11th grade, I'm talking like 8th grade, 9th grade, 7th grade. And I'm like, bruh, like, it's so easy. You forget what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I learned about a lot of these stuff back in Jamaica.
Satpura and Vindhya ranges that pretty much divide North India from South India. On each side, you get the West and East Ghat Mountains, which in return creates this massive triangle thing called the Deccan Plateau. This place is moderately forest, especially in the east, in the Chotra Nagpur Plateau, where you get a section of the swampy Sundarbans that they share with Bangladesh. Check out the Bangladesh episode. Head a little west and you get the dry Thar Desert along the border with Pakistan, as well as the Rann of Kutch, known as the Salt Desert. And finally, the only active volcanic area would be the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, with Barren Island having actual conical eruptions and Bhutan having tame mud volcanoes. Now here's the thing, although India has a relatively high population density, they do relatively well with maintaining their ecological footing. In fact, in 2016, they beat a world record by planting, disputably, 50 million trees in one day. They've also agreed to reforest about 12% of the country.
India, clap it up for India. 50 million trees in one day is, think about it, that's insane.
By 2030. The most heavily forested area being the 7 sister states in East India. Now, one of the factors that contributes to this would be the fact that India has the lowest meat consumption in the world, with the highest population percentage of vegetarians at around 40%.
Interesting. I did not know that.
most of whom are lacto-vegetarians that consume milk products. By the way, in India, when buying groceries, this label means vegetarian and this one means not vegetarian.
Okay.
Nonetheless, the remainder of the
Thank you for that. I did not know that.
population does typically eat some kind of animal protein, mostly in the forms of seafood or chicken, but almost never beef or pork.
Oh, no. That's forbidden in India for sure. I know that.
Unless if you are part of the Muslim or Christian minorities scattered throughout the west and east areas. Now, let's talk about the role of cattle, shall we? India has more cattle and livestock than anywhere
The rules. Okay, I get that. Let's hear it.
else in the world at around 330 million. And it's interesting because since they have prevalent Hindu traditions, the killing of cows is illegal in many of the states except for a few, and each state has varying degrees of punishment for committing intentional cow slaughter. Keyword intentional. Cows accidentally get hit by cars all the time. Once a cow is too old to produce milk, it typically is released into the open to die naturally in the wild, ideally. Nonetheless, male cattle get it much worse as they are deemed as kind of useless. Some places use them as draft animals for labor, some religious sects use them as sacrifices, but otherwise they are typically sold to the underground market for beef or hides. To this day, there are about 6 times as many female cows.
People sell cows in underground markets, bruh? That's crazy.
As male cattle in India, so that means, yeah, something's happening to the males.
Well, then again, I guess you have to sell cows in the underground market because, you know, it's forbidden to kill cows in India. I get it. But I'm just saying it's kind of mind-blowing to me because I'm in America and you know how America is, and not even just America, like most places around the world like eat beef regularly, so I get it.
Nonetheless, India does have the 3rd highest carbon emission rate after China and the US, 4th if you consider the EU. However, emission per capita, they rank pretty low at only about 2 kilotons per person. Contrast that with Qatar at about 40. There are 94 national parks, 501 animal sanctuaries across the country where you can find some of the national animals like the peacock, the Ganges River dolphin, the king cobra, the Indian elephant, and the highest population of Bengal tigers in the world.
Boy, wait, what movie did I watch? Is it White Tiger? Is that movie White Tiger with that famous Indian actress? Is it White Tiger? I think it is. It was set in India too. India. Okay. Let me change my mind. When I go to India, please tell me the places where I should not go, because I don't want to end up with snakes around me, tigers. I can do with elephants unless they charge at me. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. I got that dog in me. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. I'm a lion at heart. I'm a hunter. But yo, if I see, by the way, even if you see a tiger, it's done for you, isn't it? There's no chance for you. First of all, you're not even gonna be able to see a tiger, right? Because they sneak up on you. These are the type of cats sneak up on you. You know what I mean? It's not like dogs.
Which are all highly protected. India also has the most irrigated land in the world, which allows them to become the #1 producer of multiple products like millet, bananas, lemons, limes, mangoes, ginger, chickpeas, milk, butter, fennel, jute, and about 75% of the world.
You know what I realized too, now that I'm watching this video? A lot of the stuff in Jamaica is influenced by India. A lot of the stuff. A lot of it. First of all, if you ask 10 Jamaicans too, listen to this. If you ask 10 Jamaicans what is their favorite Jamaican food, you know what they're gonna, at least 4 or 3 out of the 10 people are gonna tell you curry chicken or curry goat. I guarantee you, because we get that from India in Jamaica, but that's a widely eaten food in Jamaica. Literally, every household in Jamaica cooks that at least once a week. At least once a week we're having curry. Like my household's designated curry day was Wednesdays. When I would come home from school, white rice and curry. Ooh, that slaps. That's my best. That's the best meal ever, man. Curry chicken. I'm telling you, bro. Thank you, India, for giving us a lot of these stuff like chickpeas. Like, I feel like India's the one who gave us like rice in itself, because Jamaica is a heavy rice-based country. If we're not eating rice or dumpling with our meal, it doesn't count as a meal in Jamaica. I'm telling you right now.
World spices alone come from India.
Yep.
Speaking of which, food. Typically, you can find
Let's
the
go.
staples,
This is my
roti,
favorite.
Chapati and naan in the north.
Roti. Come on, yo. I'm sorry. I'm getting excited. Come on, yo. I just talked about curry. What if we're eating roti with curry? It's like tasting scrumptious. I'm telling you, roti and curry is the best tasting food there could ever be. Thank you, in India. I haven't said it before, but thank you for roti too. I forgot about roti, bro. How could I forgot? And even my Guyanian brothers and sisters, because I know Guyana and Trinidad, we they like roti too, just like Jamaica. We love roti. I'm telling you, my sister-in-law is from Guyana. and she makes some nice rotis. When I went to her and my brother's house in Canada, they had some nice roti. They had dal. What's that thing called? I think it was it dal? It might have been dal. I don't remember. They had dal. They had everything, man. Roti, curry chicken, like some nice food.
From India. Speaking of which, food! Typically you can find the staples roti, chapati, and naan in the north.
Oh, naan is nice too.
Idli and
It's
dosa
similar.
in the south, and everybody eats rice. The more commonly
Yes.
commercialized Indian foods that we in the West grew up knowing, like samosas, tikka masala, tandoori's, and my favorite Indian dish, palak paneer. These usually come from the northern regions of India.
Okay.
Seriously, India, you took.
How does he have a plate of it right in front of him? My man has the plate of the food right in front of him right now
Spinach
eating.
and made it fat. I love you guys. Otherwise, the West is mostly known for their chutneys and pickled foods, as well as beef, since there's a high number of Muslims and Christians. The South uses a lot more coconut and has some of the best curries like porials, sambras, rasams, and tutus. And the East is known for having the best desserts like peda, mishti doi, rasgulla, or shondesh. Speaking of which, India is so diverse and complex that sometimes even Indian people need translators when going to different states.
What?
It's about to get 10 times more confusing in about
That's
3,
crazy.
2, 1.
Language. We're going to language now.
It's Ryan Reynolds. And
Yo,
I'm here
Ryan,
in North
shout out
Pole
to you, man.
remind you the
The people, demographic.
Shashti Tharoor once said, in India, we celebrate the commonality of major differences. We are a land of belonging rather than blood. First of all, India has a population of about 1.3 billion people.
That's a lot of people, India. India, oh my God. Now that I'm thinking about it, I've thought about it before, but now it's coming back to me. India makes up 1/8 of the world's population. That's crazy.
And is the second most populous country in the world after China, with about 18% of the world's population. About 72% of the country is Indo-Aryan and a quarter are Dravidian, and the majority of the remainder are Mongoloid, Asian, and other people groups. They also use the Indian rupee as their currency. They use the Type C, D, and M plug outlets, and they drive on the left side of the road. By the way, technically it's illegal for these banknotes to leave the
Like
country,
Jamaica.
but you guys have sent me a lot of them for fan
Jamaica drive on the left side of the road too.
for Fan Friday videos, so I don't want to go to jail. Again. Now keep in mind, those statistics that I just mentioned are incredibly generalized. Of the Indo-Aryan and Dravidian communities, there are about 2,000 different ethno-linguistic people groups in India, with about 645 district indigenous tribes, 52 major ones. So obviously
Wow.
we can't cover them all, but what we do know is that the North is very different from the South. For one, the North mostly speaks in languages that are all related to the Indo-Aryan branch, with languages like Hindi, Bengali, Punjabi, and Gujarati, whereas the South speaks a completely unintelligible Dravidian branch, with languages like Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, and Kannada.
Canada.
Otherwise, there's also pockets of Sino-Tibetan and Austroasiatic languages spoken in the far north and east.
Wait, so how do they all, like, communicate with each other?
Great question. Although India does not have an
English.
official language, there are 22 recognized national languages, and of these, 2 are the most prevalent, taught in schools, and used by government officials, Hindi and English.
Yep.
And very often, these two are like mixed mid-sentence. It's weird. Don't be surprised if you hear someone speaking Hindi and then suddenly
switch to
finishing off in
English.
It's like,
I get what he's saying. It happens to me as a Jamaican. So I would be speaking in English and I would just switch sometimes without even knowing to Patois, the Jamaican language, Patois. So literally I would be talking Patois sometimes, switch back to regular English. Because it's like interchangeable words. It's literally broken English. I get what he means though. A lot of people would talk to you and switch from Hindi to English like without even realizing.
Ridiculous, worse is. And I was like, what this? And I was like trying to, like, why are you even trying to do that?
I know, right? And the washing machine, I told them about
This man is-
chainsaw. Now, of course,
These boys are talking waffle. I don't know what they were saying just now.
let's discuss the one thing that goes hand in hand with India, Hinduism. About 80% of
Okay.
India claims to be Hindu, or at least part of the Hindu practicing community. Now, we don't have time to explain everything about the tenets and multi-layered philosophies and practices of Hinduism. If you want to know, just talk to a Hindu person. But basically, one thing you do need to know is that Hindu-driven ideologies pretty much dominate most of life in India, everything from family to business. You will see colorful, mesmerizing shrines,
Gold.
temples, statues, and rituals being performed everywhere, even in public. On the Bharat Mata, the Mother of India, statues are everywhere. She's like the symbol of India. The largest Hindu pilgrimage, the Kumbh Mela, happens every 3 years, rotating
Kumbh Mela.
between 4 cities, in which the adherents
Oh
bathe in
my
the Ganges
gosh.
River and enjoy a massive festival with tens of millions of people. Like,
Wow.
seriously, you can practically see it happening from space. Now, a controversial topic in
What?
relation to Hinduism would be the caste system, which is basically a belief that people are born into a socioeconomic life that that they are destined to serve into. Today, however, the system is more fluid and loose from what it used to be from a long time ago, and thanks to economic reforms, anybody with enough drive can kind of move up the social ladder regardless of birth. Nonetheless, India is home to every major religion in the world, even a few Jews, including the B'nai Menashe, an indigenous group that claimed to be one of the lost tribes of Israel. In fact, Judaism and Christianity actually had a head start in India way before it even kicked off in Europe. As tradition holds, Cochin or Malabar Jews migrated around 1000 BC to trade during the times of King Solomon, and in 53 AD, Thomas the Apostle of Jesus arrived in what is now the state of Kerala to establish the first church in India. Today, most Christians are found in the southwest and far east Seven Sisters regions. India also holds the highest population of Sikhs, Jains, and Zoroastrians, mostly found in the north, and the second largest Muslim population in the world after Indonesia. Most Muslims are populated around the northwest areas by Pakistan or in the east by Bangladesh. Oh, and don't forget the Buddhists. In fact, Buddhism actually started in India. Today, the Dalai Lama even takes refuge in Tezpur in the state of Assam. Oh, that was a lot of information. Okay, so by now you can probably get a grasp of how incredibly mixed and diversified India's population is, but what exactly holds the country together? Well, for one, you kind of have to understand Indian history, which will take way too long to explain, but in the quickest way I can put it, Indus Valley, Maurya and Gupta empires, southern empires, Golden Age, Middle Kingdoms, a ton of new religions come flocking in, the north fell to the Delhi Sultanate, the south became the Vijayanagara Empire, the Mughal Empire starts, British East India Company, direct British rule, nationalist movements, independence, republic, economic liberalization in 1991, and here we are today.
Vijaya.
Essentially, India used to be made up of around 500 smaller royal princely states, and when the British came in, they kind of exploited them to manage such a huge population. Although India is a democratic federal republic and the largest democracy in the world, the old royal family still exists today, and although they have no political power, they hold high positions of influence in their communities across India. So today, technically, you could meet someone that would be considered an Indian prince or princess. Nonetheless, the biggest thing that really united Indians in the past 2 centuries would probably be their hatred of British rule. It was kind of like, well,
yeah, they were ruled by
this is not cool.
England, mate. I mean, UK. They rule all of us. Jamaica, most of the Caribbean, USA, Australia, South Africa, literally many places in this world.
Yep. What do you say you and I work together and end this thing?
Essentially, one good thing you could say that came out of imperialism was that it kind of stopped all the internal squabbling and unified the groups towards one common goal: to get rid of imperialism. Today, Indians are just proud to be Indian. I mean, a Tamil soccer player can get cheered on by a Rajasthani, a Punjabi pop star can sell out tickets in Orissa. Speaking of which, all Indians love movies and music. India has the second largest film industry in terms of volume, pumping out nearly 2,000 films per year. Surprisingly, Nigeria pumps out more. However, the box office revenues gross out at only about $2 billion annually compared to Hollywood at over 10 billion, but still, it's impressive. And keep in mind, it's not just Bollywood, but it's also Tollywood, Gollywood, Collywood, Pollywood, and so on. There's like 20 different woods.
I did not know that. I did not know that.
In India. Oh, and like every movie in India has at least one scene where everybody breaks out in song, and there's almost always a happy ending. Unfortunately, mainstream media has also put an aesthetic strain on many of the people, as it's almost become an obsession to be light or fair-skinned, causing people to go so far as to buy skin.
They're bleaching. It's like Jamaica do the same thing.
Bleaching products. Some other controversies include things like illiteracy being an issue in many parts of the country, especially in the rural areas. But I mean, come on, when your country has literally hundreds of different writing systems, go figure. I mean, give them a break. Also, many of you guys, the Indian geography peeps, have asked me to bring awareness to the fact that India does unfortunately have some of the highest rates of human trafficking and child slavery. The government is trying to crack down and culture is slowly being reformed, but for now, it's a sad reality that still does exist. Hey, here at GN, we talk about the good and the bad. I'm just saying. Otherwise, sports do definitely tie everyone together as well, especially
cricket. Come on now. Let me give you my boomerang bowling, and let me give my my Rohit Sharma batting, bruv. You forget about Kohli, huh? Nah, shout out to India. India's too good when it comes down to cricket.
Cricket, the national sport, even though they also used to do really well in field hockey. India also has a lot of their own indigenous sports like Dopkel in Assam, bull racing in Kerala, Insuknar, rod pushing in Mizoram, and Malakamba, the strange pole yoga gymnastics thing in the south. Otherwise, some notable people from India or of Indian descent might include people like Siddhartha Gautama or the Buddha, Mahavir.
Yep, that's the most famous imagery.
Ashoka the Great, Prithviraj Chauhan, Aurangzeb, Shivaji of the Maratha Empire, Mohandas or Mahatma.
I know about that too.
Gandhi.
I know Mahatma Gandhi too, for sure.
Indira Gandhi, Subhash Chandra Bose, Jawaharlal Nehru, Rabindranath Tagore, C.V. Raman, Satyendra Nath Bose, Bhagat Singh, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, Shah Rukh Khan, Amitabh Bachchan, Amir Khan, Salman Khan, Priyana Chopra.
This is who I'm talking about. Priyana Chopra. She's from White Tiger, but I knew her from something else too. I watched her in something way before that. She's who I'm talking about. Yes, sir.
Ben Kingsley, Sundar
Oh, yeah, I know her too.
Pichai, Satya Narayana Nadella, A.R. Rahman, Sachin Tendulkar, and Mahendra
Sachin Tendulkar reacted to him, and MS Dhoni. You don't know the goats.
Suknar Rod pushing.
I'm guessing this video is like what, 7 years old or 8 years old or something like that. 6 years old. I guess that's why. So they don't have all the like. They don't have, probably doesn't have Virat Kohli and them type of guys in it right now.
In Mizoram, and Malakamba, the strange pole yoga gymnastics
Let me
thing
go
in the
back to where
south.
we were.
Otherwise, some Khan, Amitabh Bachchan, Amir Khan, Salman Khan, Priyana Chopra, Ben Kingsley, Sundar Pichai, Satya Narayana Nadella, A.R. Rahman, Sachin Tendulkar.
Sachin Tendulkar. I reacted to him, but I don't think I've posted that video. If you see that video, well, probably the Sachin Tendulkar video come out before this one that I'm reacting to right now, so y'all probably see it already.
And Mahendra Singh Dhoni. There's
Yes,
also
sir.
literally millions of other famous people I missed out on. If you want to mention them, please, there's a comment section below. Use it. In the meantime, we got to finish this info marathon, shall we?
Oh, I forgot to mention. Now that we're here, is he my second cousin? He might have been my second cousin. Deshaun Brown. He plays football in India, or played football. I have to check what club. I think he still plays in India. Yeah. Deshaun Brown. That's my cousin. I think second cousin, by the way, by my grandparents' side. So all my grandparents, yeah, it's by my grandparents' side. You know. And man's in India. Isn't that crazy? He's playing in India, football in India. That's crazy, right? I just thought about it. I don't know why I haven't think about it all this time. I reacted to all these videos to tell y'all. Deshaun Brown's my cousin, people. Go shout him out too.
Now, no surprise, India is huge and therefore has a huge international outreach when it comes to diplomacy to almost everyone, except their immediate neighbors. First of all, countries with large population percentages of Hindus and Indians like Fiji, Guyana, Suriname, Trinidad and Tobago,
Yeah.
Mauritius, and Malaysia typically stay close
Yep. Guyana, Trinidad, Suriname.
to India's roster of go-to friends. They enjoy cordial relations with trade. Now, the UK may have left on a sour note, but they still have a lot of ties to their former colonizer in terms of business and tourism. India is still part of the
By the way, there's a lot of Indian Jamaicans for people who don't know. Literally a lot. I feel like Jamaica's demography is made up of 60% blacks, which is African descent. I want to say 10% Indian, bro. I feel like it's either 10 or 20% Indian Jamaicans demography is made up of. Might be more because a lot of people like we're mixed a lot, so it might be even more than I think if you think about it. And we have like maybe 5% whites, or probably more too, to be honest. It's crazy. Like in Jamaica we say our national motto or national saying in Jamaica is "out of many one people," meaning that Jamaica is made up of a lot of people, but a lot of people outside of Jamaica don't know that Jamaica is like really diverse when it comes on to the people.
the Commonwealth, not Commonwealth realm, there's a difference, and the UK has over 1.5 million citizens of Indian descent. As mentioned in the China episode, China is kind of like India's "I'm only here to do business with you and nothing else" friend, as drama still hasn't subsided in regards to the territory conflicts. Now, when it comes to the US, things started kind of sour back in the 70s during the Indo-Pak War of 1970. When the US
That was patois for you, patois. I wasn't speaking patois.
sided with Pakistan, their arch nemesis. Today, relations have cooled off. Mostly, the US supports India's move towards democracy and is a key ally in the military conflicts in the Middle East. When it comes to their best friends, however, most of the Indians I talked to have said Russia and Bhutan. Russia because during the Indo-Pak Wars, Russia came in and supported them, and ever since then, each country has held a high position of respect for the other, especially as global superpowers. Bhutan and India signed a treaty of friendship almost immediately after independence. The two countries have shared interests and a currency-pegged system as well. Bhutan even supported the annexation of their cousins in the Sikkim state into India, as it gave a nice buffer of land from China's stake to their claim. In conclusion, you will not find anywhere else on Earth like India. Thousands and millions of people inhabiting a colorful, majestic, green, slightly gritty at times slab of Earth, blessed and cursed in so many ways, yet wonderfully harmonized, mostly in a unity unlike anywhere else. In the end, that's India. Stay tuned, Indonesia.
I like that. I like that. That's the end of the reaction. Geography Now India. We can tick that off for Geography Now, a list of countries that we've covered. I like this video, very informative. I learned a lot about India through this video. And see, that's what I learn every single day. I'm telling you, some people you don't even need school to even educate yourself. You just gotta apply that and educate yourself. It's your boy Devin Turner. Let me know your thoughts down below on this video on India. If there's anything in this video that needs to be updated, because this video was made a long time ago, you can comment down below and let me know what are the stuff that's been outdated in the video. Also, let me know what are the stuff I should react to about India. I could react to more cultural stuff, you know, different type of videos, not only cricket that I react to sports, because most of my channel is sports, but I do other reactions, you know what I mean? But it's your boy Devin Turner, man. Subscribe if you're not already. Let's get to 10,000 subscribers and I'll be out of here. Peace.